James Sinclair here. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel if you love what we're doing and you're passionate about growing your business and your property investments, because this is the channel to do it. Well, let me tell you, we've just released our first documentary on YouTube. If you haven't seen that, go and click and watch that right now. It's called the Get Rich Quick £1 Million Property Challenge. Came out Boxing Day, and since then we've had over thousands of views, hundreds of comments, and people have been asking me some questions, and I need to give clarity to it. Well, here's some of the things that we missed out in the doc that I think will be very interesting to you. Number one, we bought the properties for $1,288,000 and the valuation was 1.750. We're using bridging finance to buy them. Why is that a handy Harry? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when you use bridging finance, you can buy on the valuation of the properties, not the purchase price. When you use mortgage money, you have to buy on the purchase price rather than whatever the valuation price is. They don't care. It's all about your purchase price. But the great news about this is when you buy on bridging finance, although you pay a much higher rate of interest, it gives you like 6 months to get the values up, and then you're doing a remortgage in effect before you go and put it onto like a high street bank with a lower interest rate, and that significantly reduces your deposit in. And what I was doing with that block of flats is very simple. How am I going to increase the value so quickly? Is I'm going to take over a property that has one title for the whole block of flats, and then I'm going to separate it into lots of different titles, one per flat, which will significantly increase the value of the property. For example, if you bought a house, a big 4-bedroom house, and then you turned it into 4 flats, those 4 flats combined will be worth more than the valuation of one house. Similarly, that's what we're going to do there. And also people have been asking, well, James, what's your rent roll? Well, now if you look at the start of the documentary, I said something very, very important. I said that we must have at least 10% rent back 10% rent back for total capital deployed. Now, total capital deployed, I mean, that's if that's my money, my bank's money, the broker's money, the bridger's money, great Aunt Agnes's money, must have at least 10% rent back. So if you're buying a property for £100,000, you want to make sure that you've got at least £10,000 rent per year. And what we got on this was buying these properties for $1,288,000, and the rent's about £130,000 a year. And the great news is that will significantly increase once we do the Manchester properties up, and we'll get considerably over the 130,000. So I was very happy with those deals. If some of this still sounds confusing, then hit it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer for you. Make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell here on the channel, and if you really like this, give it a thumbs up, because that's what we'd like you to do, because it helps the YouTube algorithm and then more people get to see our stuff. Next shot is me and Nathan, who was on the dock with me explaining everything in more detail. Here it comes. Hey gang, welcome to the James Sinclair YouTube channel. Make sure you hit subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below, because we're about to go through now our £1 Million Property Challenge results, sort of discuss it in a bit more detail. If you haven't seen what we brought out on Boxing Day, it's called the Get Rich Quick £1 Million Property Challenge, where we secured £1 million plus worth of property. But you need to go and check that out before you watch this. If you have checked it out, stay tuned. I'm here with Nate, who sourced the properties. Right, let's just give the viewers some context to this a little bit more. Basically, at the end of the doc, we had a gold envelope that said the value of the properties. And one of them was backed up by a Rick's valuation and Stoke-on-Trent. And then we bought a block of flats in Bournemouth. So we bought effectively a block of flats in Altrincham, which is a really nice town where we're filming this actually, outside Manchester. Bought a block of 6 flats, well 8 flats, 2 had sold off, but we kept the freeholds of those in Bournemouth. This here, in this red envelope, was the cash in to acquire them, 84,000. Now, let me just say that again. I don't know if people understand, to buy £1.7 million worth of property with 84,000 is not easy. No. So, but 84 grand is still a lot of money, that's not.
Want me to run you through some of the more detailed numbers?
Yeah, let's go through the more detailed numbers.
These is achievable rents as well, so this is based on market comparables for rent.
Yeah.
So we're looking at £10,050 per month gross rent. We're looking at mortgage payments in the term debt of about £3,430 per month.
Based on interest only?
Based on interest only.
Which I think is going to be tough to get.
Which I think will probably be tough to get. Well, if it's commercial, it probably won't.
So basically, guys, commercial is very hard to get commercial mortgages on interest only. So I think we've got to allow it on a capital and interest basis, but let's work it that we're just doing it on interest only. What that means, guys, those that don't know, is you've got to pay down the principal of the debt, pay down the debt and the interest on the debt.
So we've got gross income of £120,600 per year, net income of just a touch under £68,000 per year. So on this money in, that's a return on investment of 82% per annum, and that's a yield, so on cash deployed, of 9.1%.
The actual debt that we've taken on to acquire these properties, 1.280. 1.288. We're going into this easily with nearly £500,000 worth of equity straight away from day one, so it's good loan to value. Maybe explain to people why we don't just go straight to term debt. Why do we use a bridger?
Because if we go to term debt, they'll want a 25% deposit on the amount that we want to borrow, essentially.
Yeah, so that would be of the 1.3. Let's call it
1.3, they'd want 25% of the 1.3.
So it's 360, isn't it? What about stamp duty? Have you allowed for that in the 84,000?
We've allowed for that, yeah, but
you get a discount because you're
we
buying.
should get a discount on all of them.
Which is called multiple dwellings relief.
You'll get a discount on the stoke because there's no workable kitchen. Well, you'll pay no stamp duty.
No stamp duty.
You'll pay minimum stamp duty on the 2 blocks of flats because they're both.
Yeah.
So the Altium one isn't a block of flats yet, but it's still multiple units of dwelling, so you should get a bit of a discount there as well.
So we'll be paying 1% stamp duty on Bournemouth after the 100, because you get 150,000 free on based on commercial, because that would be based as a commercial. I'm sure, but whatever it is, there'll be more, whether it's commercial mortgage because it's a block of flats, or but based as a commercial property, or multiple dwellings relief, the stamp duty is hugely reduced. So, what we're going to do, gang, at the 27th of February, we're earmarking this, is we're going to do a results show, the actual results once we've secured everything, got things underlined, so we'll be able to give you more accurate, because, this is a very educated guess. And I don't think we're that far out on any of this. Yeah, and also, I think with the place that we saw in Altrincham, what about £40,000-50,000 worth of hard cash into that, to turn that into 5 really lovely flats. Now, what I've been absolutely amazed about that is, done some quick research on my phone whilst here, that actually the rents, this is lovely, this place. This is like a really nice town. We're looking at anywhere between £1,000 and £2,500 a month for a flat. So that's why we need to spend that 40-50 grand, do them up really nicely. We're going to smash through that 10% rent of total capital deployed, because if I'm putting in, say, 380, say 70, so that costs us 450 to acquire that, genuinely believe we're going to be getting close to 85,000 a year in rent from it.
Yeah, we've only worked on these figures, we've only worked it at sort of like
as they are now.
Yeah.
A
little bit more than they are now. So you're talking a lot more. You're talking more than double what they are now.
Yeah. I wasn't. This is a lot of money. I thought we would be a lot less than this. And for the purposes of the challenge, I didn't want to use any of my own contacts, so I'm going to see if I can go and find the bridging cheaper than.
Again, we've made assumptions for
this.
This could be a little bit less. Let's point that out.
Because
it all depends on where we find the term.
Because guys, what I'm doing here is that 84,000 of hard cash I've got to put into this. I can't believe I'm going to say that, for our second challenge that we're going to do in 2020, is I've got to go and set up a business and make that profit within a short amount of time. I thought it was going to be about 30, 40, and I thought, yeah, I can do that. 84,000, from scratch. Not using any of my own existing businesses, because people like seeing stuff happen from scratch, where you roll up your sleeves and you can go again. And this is what we're going to attempt to do here. So I am going to try and look to get that number down. And if we can't, it's squeaky bum time. With your newfound fame, hopefully we will know by the time this has gone out that more people have subscribed to our YouTube channel, more people are going to come, hopefully, to our property seminar, so that you can learn how to do this as well. I'm sure you're going to be able to get yourself a new jumper at last. Oh, Tracy's texted me. My PA's just texted me, hope you got Bournemouth. We got it, Tracy, because my PA manages all my properties, and she said something to me, and I'm actually going to steal it from her and start using it in our property training. She said, make sure you don't go and buy trouble, because it's so easy to buy trouble in property. And I'm being funny now, in fact, a lot of the properties that you were showing me in the beginning, I thought, flipping out, they do stack up on an Excel spreadsheet, if you like, but I don't want to look at my property portfolio as a business. I want to look at it as an investment, because I've already got a business that has me managing it and people managing it, and I wanted this to be more of a hands-off passive investment, that my business is the one that generates the business and the effort and the entrepreneurial DNA. Now, if you are like you and that's all you do, then maybe you would take some higher risks on property. But for me, I just want easier stuff. And I don't think we've bought any trouble. Bournemouth, I think, is fantastic. And I can see when we've done this Altrincham thing up, just beautiful, really nice stuff. And I can see the valuation of that coming in at 200,000 an apartment. So, what do you think?
That was an absolute nightmare. No, it's been a learning curve. I mean, obviously, it's kind of made me look at my own portfolio a little bit more as well, I'll be honest.
Because you spent more time with me.
A little bit, because you don't want trouble. I mean, even if property is your main business, which it may be for some people, you still don't want lots of trouble. You want an easy life, don't you? But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of properties we've looked at that have been good for some people, not good for others. I mean, we've managed to sell some of the properties that we've sourced through to other people. I mean, it depends on your risk appetite and things like that.
It's not about risk appetite. I mean, sophisticated investors become fussier. I'm not saying what you show, I'm just fussier. And, one of the things that I always say about property, there's, a lot of business opportunities. There's so many buses coming along, you can let a few go. Just get somewhere 10 minutes late to get on the right bus, and that's why, we've still managed to find all of these in a few weeks. But there is so many low-hanging fruits that what people will not understand, and I keep reiterating this about what you do is the marketing, because people will not invest like you do £1,000 a month in direct mail, going in magazines to source all this stuff. And that is your secret sauce, isn't it, really? Yeah. You're not finding these through bloody Rightmove and Zoopla, though. None of these have not been.
I mean, I've not used Rightmove probably for about 6 or 7 months now.
Yeah.
And when I do use it, I use it for comparables, things like that.
So that's what I use it.
We've not sourced anything from Rightmove for a very long time, and it's because you need to find more effective means of advertising. I mean, this is going into business now rather than property, but you
can negotiate better deals, can't you?
Negotiate better deals direct to vendor. I mean, the lady we spoke to today, you wouldn't have got half of that information if you didn't speak to an agent.
No.
It'd have been too technical, this, that, and the other. But you speak to that, you can understand the position she's in and how we can help as well, and how that can benefit us.
The industrial estate that I'm buying at the moment, they advertise that in the Times. I always read the business section of the Times on a Sunday. No agent has been involved, and that I think is probably going to be the best property deal that I've ever done. And no one's going to be prepared to do that. This is what I'm so worried. People are going, "Man, it's fantastic. Let's call Nathan and James," and this is just sit in the car. I mean, we've literally done days and days, thousands of miles of travelling. It's just.
I think it's important to point out we've done hours and hours of wasted time as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you remember we drove all the way to Newcastle to stand outside on that bloody thing in the rain? I mean,
and the one we couldn't get, the keys were wrong as well, and I'd driven 2 hours that day. I mean, this is the thing that people are not prepared to do, which is why they don't find this sort of stuff. But it's been exciting, and I've loved every moment of it.
Do you know the best thing though? I mean, I did send you the message out this about the best thing that's come out of all this, Dave, is I genuinely believe that I've got a friend for life out of this, and
I don't. No, it's been fantastic.
And I think we're going to do other things together.
100%,
and
100%.
We get on really well.
Wired up the same way, everything, 100%.
Yeah, and I think you've probably learned a lot from me.
Yeah. Absolutely everything that I now know.
And I bet now over the next few years you will start sourcing different properties for yourself. I just bet you will.
I'm not going to admit it. I'll let the viewers decide what my answer to that is.
So guys, let us know what you think, especially if you saw the doc, in the comments below. And if you want to get in touch with Nathan and I, we are going to put on a property seminar. We'd love to have you there. It's going to be called the Property Profits Masterclass. 2 days. I'm going to do 1 day. He's going to do another day, because there's so much that we've done on this doc that is none of the strategies and tactics that I usually use, and I think loads of that stuff's really interesting, especially around commercial property as well. So if you're interested in that, just drop a comment below and one of our team will let you know where that is.
And make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment.
Yeah, and Nate's got his own YouTube channel. We won't put a link for that because we want to keep everyone with their eyeballs on mine. You'll have to look him up. Nathan jumper winch. Have you noticed that he just always has? Just a classic jumper.
I just sweat in summer.
But mate, honestly, you have got so many jumpers, haven't you?
I've got a lot of jumpers.
There was a point in the main dock where I wanted Chuds to put like a count, you know, like a jumper count. Ding, ding, ding. 'Cause I've never known, but they're like proper granddad jumpers, aren't they?
They're comfortable,
awful.
they're practical, they're warm.
They are.
They are.
Thanks, guys. See you real soon. Bye-bye.